everyone, it's Annette Green. Welcome. It is week 46 of 2024, and every week I do a craft or craft related video. And today I want to talk all about a new little December or Christmas or holiday album that I will be offering as a class in my Etsy shop. Okay, so let's take a peek at that album. Mine is covered in fabric, and we'll talk about that later, but it's a basic book to get started. There are no decorated pages yet because this is going to be my December to remember. So I just move you through in this tutorial the steps to stitching a book, because last week I showed a different album and everybody wanted to know how was that bound, how was that put together, and so this is the answer to that. And it's a little bit involved, so that's why I'm doing an Etsy tutorial on this one. But it's all hand stitched in there. We get it bound into our chipboard covers, and I take you through all those steps. So that's a peek at the actual project. About what went into making that album. It was super fun to make, and I did mine. Of course, you can use any papers that you like, but I used Reminiscence, the book number 8. It's a new pattern cardstock book from Esther Glass for Elizabeth Craft Designs. I will link that below for sure, and any of this other stuff in case you want to start stocking up and if you want to make this album. So as you may or may not know, every book, Reminiscence book from Elizabeth Craft Designs, has pages that measure 7.5 by 10. So that might be a standard measure in the EU, I'm not sure, but that's the size of the pages. So we have to be kind of strategic when we cut, but this is a great book because that you get doubles of all the papers, but in the front of the book you get very thin versions of the same that are in the back, which are much thicker. So this same print is also in the front of the book, and that's what I have cut out here, but typically that's in the book. Now, because of the size and because of the kit that I'm going to be using to cut the pages, that's where I say you have to be a little strategic. So let's talk about how we're going to cut the pages. Book. You don't have to do yours this way. The instructions will take you through using this kit, and this is 2164 Locket of Memories. This is an Art Journal special kit from David Rudenberg, also Elizabeth Craft Designs. It has all these wonderful dies, and there's a big page die there. There's a spine die, there's a waterfall element, and then the stamp set that comes with it. I have not used a whole lot of this yet because I'm going to use my album as my December to remember, not a December day by day. It can definitely be used for that, but because I'm going to wait for the prompts and do each day as it comes, then I'm just going to wait on any kind of embellishment stuff like this. With that in mind, like knowing it could be a December day by day, it could be a December to remember, just be a holiday album, I'm going to make sure that mine has at least 31 pages for the 31 days of December. So 31's an odd number. I'm going to do 32. And as you may have noticed in the album, I do have base pages that are cardstock, and I just used an off-white, kind of an ivory color. I've inked the edges, and all the directions on how to do this will be in the tutorial that you would purchase on Etsy. But the end goal is to have each page hinged with the hinge die, and then we're going to stitch through, which all will be in the directions. So you'll need the kit if you want to do it exactly the same way. Just pick your favorite papers. I've chosen a bunch of reds out of the book 8, a couple of browns, some greens, and some neutrals here, just for the base pages, these pretty pages here. And then I have some extra cardstock strips just because of the size I want my book, or I wanted my book. I have these strips just from cardstock. So I did some red, some brown, and some green. All of that will be in the directions. And then I did the same with the hinge. That's one of the dies in the set. And I went ahead and cut out a bunch of hinges. Again, in the directions, how much you'll need. But this is all from the book 8, so it's not like you have to have additional stuff for these. And you may want to have some kind of twine. I like this big reel of, it's sort of a waxed twine. I got it on Amazon, I think, and if I can find it, I will link it. I pretty much stuck with this color, which is sort of an off, like a tan color. Of course, there's ivory, there's all kinds of things, but that's one option from Amazon. You can also just go to your local sewing store, hobby store, craft store, and get some button thread. It's, or even like hand quilters thread, because it's very strong and very thick. This one happens to be what they call craft thread because it's an Eclectic Elements by Tim Holtz and Coates brand. Nice and thick and strong and perfect for binding pages. So you have a lot of options there, and of course you'll need some sort of kind of long needle for doing your sewing of the stitches in the signatures. Also, you will need 2 sheets of 12 by 12 chipboard. You're not going to use all of this, but just because of the way it's cut, you're going to need 2 sheets to get there. So I just used like a fairly thin but strong chipboard. This is white. It does not matter at all what color that you choose because you are going to completely cover everything up. Now, what you see on mine is fabric, and I do show that option in the tutorial video, and the rest of it is all paper. So if you want to grab your fabric stash, I did get this batch from my local fabric store, and it is the Tim Holtz new collection. I just bought a pack of fat quarters, and that's what I've used. Kind of the supplies you need other than your really basic craft supplies. You know, craft knife, inking edges with brown. I use Vintage Photo. You know, paper trimmer, die cutting machine, etc. Now, David does have the December to Remember 2024 prompts for his December to Remember, and that's what I'm going to go with this year. That's just once the album is done and you start to fill it in. Again, you can do a December day by day where you put a photo or 2. It's going to be a decent size album when you get done where you could put 2 photos per page, let's say. But you can find the December to Remember prompts on the Elizabeth Craft Designs family page, and also I think on their regular Facebook page. The family page is a private group, and Elizabeth Craft Designs itself is a Facebook page. I believe you can find all of those there. If not, let me know, and I will also try to link below if I can find that for you. Okay, and so I hope you like that little project and you take advantage of that offering in my Etsy shop. If you have any questions about anything ahead of time, please let me know right here in the comments so that everyone else can see your question in case they have the same one. Okay, that's it for me today. I'll see you next week in the next crafty video.